Before we get into this video, I want to preface it by saying the Movably Pro chair showcased in this video is a prototype and is going to see in revisions. The end product may be different. So with that said, the creators of the Movably Pro chair reached out to me and asked me if I would do a video on this prototype, and I said absolutely, send it out. The Movably Pro is an ergonomic chair that allows you to sit and stand while you work, promoting maximum blood flow to your body. The chair's standout feature is the flamingo mode, where you can alternate between sitting and standing positions, but it also has options for full sitting, full standing, or rotating between the modes. There's a set of physical buttons on the chair that can be used to switch the modes, and there are plans from the manufacturer to enable deeper control. The initial plans for the app is that it will allow you to choose your position and a series of different desired intervals to switch the chair's modes to meet your needs as you work throughout your day. I just don't have them for this video because it's still in work. Let's talk about one of the best features. The Movably Pro's chair's flamingo mode allows you to alternate between half sitting and half standing, which ensures you remain in your natural flow state without having to take time out of what you're doing to adjust your desk and chair to a stand mode or to a sit mode. I don't know about you, but because of that whole process of moving your standing desk up and down and moving your chair out of the way and whatnot, I usually remain sitting or standing longer than I would be comfortable because it is such a cumbersome task. It sounds stupid, but it actually affects work. And if you're in something, you will sit longer than you need to, and then by the time you know it, you've been sitting all day, and that's not good. With this chair, I tap the side button to move into flamingo mode, or I can lift it with my leg and go into a full sit pretty easily. The chair will nudge me with its haptic motors, and I know it's time for me to move because it'll be like, and it'll nudge you and then all that type of stuff. Anyways, each leg has its own motor and you know which side it is time to switch to. If you do sedentary work, you probably know that it's not great for your health and you have to move every once in a while because sitting in one position for too long can be detrimental to your health in the long run. From my testing and from my experience using the Movably Pro over the past month and a half now, this thing has lessened the end of day back pain that I usually get from sitting all day, and I can feel a difference in my back with this chair, and I feel better overall. Maybe it's just a placebo effect. I don't think so. I just feel better at the end of the day. There's a ton of research out there that points out the benefits of moving frequently, as it allows more oxygen to reach the disc in your spine. Keeping your disc healthy and preventing your back pain is the ultimate goal for anybody that does sedentary work all day. And with this chair, you can move more frequently than you ever would with any other chair or standing desk combination. Movably Pro has saw a need or seen a need and kind of addressed it. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this chair is perfect for those who spend long hours at their desk. People like freelance filmmakers that get deep into the edit, stay there for hours upon hours upon hours, office workers that have to do 8 or 9 hours a day sitting at a desk, or I can even see a space for this chair's usefulness in the content creation space where you're a streamer that sits for extremely long periods of time streaming to your audience. Now you can just have this chair in the background, be making adjustments, be on camera. They would know no different. They'd be none the wiser. Let's get into an overview of the Movably Pro chair. But before we do, I want to reiterate what I said at the beginning of this video, that this is an early prototype of their second batch that is on Kickstarter, so this will almost definitely change as time goes on. So let's get into that. All right, so here's the Movably Pro chair. Let's talk about its nomenclature a little bit. So it has its backrest, its seating pads, which are split, its center column. There's two buttons on over here that control these little pads here, and it brings them up and down. And there's also the floor pad and the footrest. There's power going out through the bottom that's all delivered through the column here. There are two ways to bring up one half side of the chair. Either bring your leg up like this, and I'm in flamingo stance with my left leg up. And there's another way to bring it back up is hit the button, it'll nudge me, and I go back up into flamingo stance. I can go into full seated mode pretty easily by either putting all my weight on the left leg, and you saw how I dragged it up with my leg, and I didn't even touch it with my hand. It's pretty neat. I move all of my weight to the one side, so I'm all the way on the left side, and I can hit the button, and the other side, the right side, will drop down back into flamingo stance. So I've moved the chair a little further from my desk so I could demonstrate this, so I could get a good focus on what this chair brings to the table. I'm typing along and I don't want to reach down, so I'm typing along. I can just do all of this without ever being interrupted in my workflow. So if I'm doing that and then I want to go back, I can lift it back up, goes down, one leg. This is all movement, which is good because all of this in my spine and everything right here is relieved of that pressure because I'm standing and moving all throughout the day. So I can move constantly without ever being interrupted from what it is I'm doing at work. Still typing, both down, standing. I can go full seated without ever stopping to type. You know, sitting here focused, never move my hands off the keyboard. That is awesome, super quick. It's non-intrusive in my workflow. If I wanted to kind of take a little bit of break, you know, put my hand down, move it over to the side, hit the button on this side, lift all the weight off. So I'm in full standing mode. This is probably one of the areas that I would recommend to Movably to make some adjustments, is that if I'm doing some stretches with this backrest, I get a little nervous that the chair is going to tip backwards. So maybe add a little bit more weight to the base plate or something like that. I think that would address that issue, and I feel comfortable doing this. So I love this chair just for this reason, because I could get some good movement in, stay focused within my work environment, and just keep on working. This is why this chair is freaking phenomenal. So that was a quick demonstration of what the chair does. Let's get closer so I can show you all these things in detail. So here's the button on the left side of the Movably Pro. I can hit it, it'll nudge me, and I go into flamingo stance that way. The same thing on the other side. I can hit the button, but I won't. I'll bring my leg here and lift the other side up, and I'm in full seated position, which is freaking awesome. And if I didn't want to hit the button, I could just put all my weight on the right side, lift the pad up, go back into flamingo stance just from one leg. The chair isn't this thing that I have to focus on. It doesn't take me away from my work. And if I just reach down real quick, the button's easy to hit enough and then I'm back in it. So it really doesn't matter how I get into flamingo stance. I can just hit that button, which I've gotten really used to because it's so prominent and it's like right by my pocket. So I just hit that thing, brings me back into that stance. And that is what I think is freaking awesome about this chair. Just for closer demonstration, I want to show you what I'm talking about when I'm standing and I'm doing stretches. If I lean a little bit, you can see the front of the chair kind of going and popping a wheelie. It's pretty scary, but I've learned that I need to put my feet out this far and then do some stretches so I don't tip backwards, and that kind of addresses it. But I can see there's some potential for people being this close because they want to stretch back and maybe potentially falling backwards. I don't think so, because I mean, you would go back forward and it gives you enough time to react. But that's something for Movably to kind of consider. Okay, so onto the floor pad. I think there's some opportunity for Movably to make some improvements in addition to making some sellable accessories. This pad is a little too thick and too soft for my liking, especially if I were wearing shoes in an office environment. I think they could take this pad, make different types of it, make, you know, I don't know, print some cool designs or something on it, and then have it, these little notches flipped, so then when you took it, you locked it in place on the chair. Because over time, when I'm standing and leaning back with the pressure of my feet going that way, this finds its way like that. That becomes pretty obnoxious over time. And I think if they made it so it locked in place in some way, shape, or form, where you could print some designs, get some different material, get some, you know, thinner, more robust material for shoe environment or in an office environment, I think that would be of benefit to the purchasers, because I mean, you could customize your chair, right? Same thing with this footrest. This is overly soft for my liking, and this is just a little bit too hard. I think they can make different pads for the footrest as well. Another thing that I think Movably should consider in making an improvement to is where the power comes out. I know this is just a pre-production model. I think they could do a little bit more with it coming out the front of the footrest or something, so it's not all over the floor, you know, becoming a tripping hazard or whatnot. Because I found myself, when this is closer to my desk, this power brick comes out like that. Sometimes I, you know, trip over it, whatnot, because the cables out. I'm pretty sure they're working on a solution for that because it is pretty obnoxious and obstructive, you know, just the whole chair environment. Maybe put the power brick inside, something like that. I don't know. They're the engineers. That's just my feedback for using this chair for a little over a month. I want to show you the LED indicators and give you a closer view of the button. So this button is on the right side, and if I hit it, it's in full manual mode when the green light is on only. If you want to put it in auto mode, you just press and hold the button for a minute, and then blue light comes on, and then it goes through a pre-programmed cycle of where it's telling me to go into full seated mode. I forget what it is they programmed into this, but this is where the app is vitally important, because then you could, structure how it is you want this auto mode to work. And that app has to work well enough to make it valuable enough for people to want to use it. This is full app mode, and then to turn it off, you just press and hold, and blue light goes off, vibrates a little bit, and you know that it's off. You never have to look down at the LED indicators for any reason, because the haptic motors in both sides of this seat work very, very well. Now I want to put to rest any worry of it dropping and where you would just hit the ground or fall or whatever. I've never once in the month, even the time that it took me to get used to it, I never once felt that it was going to drop me or whatever. Because if I hit the button and there's a weight on it, it'll vibrate and continue to vibrate until you remove weight, or it'll stop vibrating and stop trying to unlock. And this will never unlock if there's weight on it. The thing is that if you hit it, you gotta hit the button or move the thing and then release weight, and then it'll drop down. Again, not once have I felt any sense of danger or I'm gonna fall or whatever. Because it is a unique chair, it takes some time getting used to. And for the first couple of days, my back was a little sore, my butt cheeks were sore because of the flamingo stance. My body just wasn't used to it. But oh my goodness, I can't tell you how much better I felt after using this chair. It's just been something that has cleared my mind in such a way that I stay focused on my work for a longer period of time, and I can edit for longer sessions and do all kinds of different things, play games for long periods of time without ever feeling like tight or sore, because sitting for long periods of time just wreck me. And I do a lot of sedentary work, and this thing is just, it's worth its weight in gold. I think this thing just absolutely takes the cake from any chair, especially for its pricing. So here we are again. If there's weight on the actual seating face, it's not gonna drop. I have to lift up for it to go off, but it only sits in that state for a little bit when you hit the button. So I have to hit the button, remove weight, and then it goes down. I go into flamingo stance. This is a closer demonstration of what you need to do. So you bring that back up with a button, you hit the other side per se. So I hit that, lift it up, and then it drops down. So you gotta roll your butt cheeks throughout the day in this chair. It is just a great chair. I wholeheartedly recommend it. So this part of the video is specific feedback to Movably to make an adjustment or beef up their center column, because the gas cylinder or the pneumatic cylinder in the middle of this is not strong enough. And if you guys ship it this way, I think it's gonna cause a lot of headache for some folks. So bear with me as I try to demonstrate this on camera, because it freaked me out the first time because I was so worried about falling. It just really made it an uncomfortable experience. So this is all built towards the center column here, and it's pneumatic or gas cylinder within it. It's just not strong enough, maybe because I'm heavy or whatnot, but here we go. So I'm gonna lift this up and it's gonna drop me probably. I'm scared. You see, it's very jittery, very jerky. Didn't drop me, but it scared the living crap out of me the first time that it happened. Make that column more strong or more robust, beef it up, whatever you guys need to do. Another recommendation, what I think they're working on, is having a more sturdy backrest. I'd rather have just a full plastic one. That's just my preference. I hope they have different types of backrest for individuals that want to order however they want to customize their chair, or maybe give it a mesh or something like that. This is just too much padding for my liking, but again, this is a pre-production model. So back to where I think this chair fits in, and I want to elaborate a bit more on why I was saying that it's a good fit for content creation streamers. So here's an example of why I think that the Movably Pro chair is a perfect fit for content creation streamers because you stream for very long periods of time. And I can imagine that it takes a pretty high toll on your body if you sit for that whole time. Right now, I am full standing with the Movably Pro. Just imagine this camera, or this face cam, at the bottom corner or whatever, on a green screen, or whatever you want to do. However you want to do your content creation, just imagine this being a part of it. This is the face cam. Full stand mode, and as I'm streaming throughout the day, doing my content creation, interacting with my chat or whatever, I've gone into flamingo mode. You probably didn't even notice. I'm gonna go into full sit mode. You probably wouldn't have it even noticed. If you didn't know that I was sitting, or I didn't tell you that I was sitting full sit in the Movably Pro chair, you wouldn't have any idea. So I mean, I can go full standing, probably without the camera even knowing. I'm telling you that I'm doing it, but you wouldn't even know. So again, I think this is a perfect fit for content creation streamers, not so much those competitive guys that are super sweaty, like locked in, ready to rock and roll. It's probably not a great fit for them, but I think it's a pretty good fit for content creation. And you should consider it if you're one of those individuals out there. And solely because it makes me feel better at the end of the day. If you're doing long streams for long, consecutive days and you're feeling real tired or whatever, you don't have a lot of opportunity to go out and get to the gym or whatever it is, this is something that could probably change that or make it better for you in the long run. So, I mean, consider it, because I think it would make a fantastic, or it would fit perfectly within those environments. You can pre-order one of these on Kickstarter using a link below, not affiliated, just driving traffic over there, for 1,500 bucks. Feel free to check that out at your own leisure. As soon as this thing makes it to market, I'm definitely going to consider buying one for my work. It's been such a great addition to my workspace insofar as where it leaves me at the end of the day feeling much better. My back is not sore and my head is clearer, leaving me in a better headspace for the rest of the day. Because I mean, 8 hours is only 8 hours. You still have a whole other part of the day. I am more productive, and I've seen an improvement in my work. As it stands today, I love this thing and I cannot wait for it to hit mass market production. I can't imagine a scenario where I would pick a similarly priced Herman Miller Embody chair over this thing solely for the health benefits alone. It's such a great concept, and I think it's going to be a hit with a lot of people. Is it perfect? I don't think so, but this is, again, is just a pre-production model. Here's my feedback on this. I think they could do a better job with the power cord placement instead of having it come out of the side, go through the leg or something. It's just really, really cumbersome as it sits right now. They could add some tough padding to the footrest. I don't want the super soft stuff because if I have my shoes on, I don't want it to come apart and whatnot. And I think they could do a better job with, or do more with, the footrest padding and make it more of a removable element to where you can replace it or make it tougher or softer, however you want. And I really, really, really want a backrest that is a bit more rigid and not have a bunch of padding. The beauty of the backrest is, how you can stretch and whatnot on it. And I think if they made it like a hard plastic or like a rougher plastic, I would really like that. Not to go unmentioned, I think they have to do a good job with the app and its deployment. It has to be good out the gate, because if it's not, it's going to be problematic as the chair is launched, because people just won't use it if it's not good. Maybe add some HomeKit, something or other where it connects to other things. I don't know. That's for them to decide and how they want to deploy it, but it has to be good whatever direction they decide to go with. The good news about all this though is that they're really taking customer feedback to the bank and acting on it quickly and making modifications to this pre-production chair. And it's just turning out to be something really cool. And I really want one, especially when it sees its full revisions and it's had all the customer feedback and they take it all together and put it in practice. I think it's gonna be an awesome chair. Head on over to their site and their Kickstarter page if you wanna learn more, or if you're interested in actually purchasing one. I'll leave it linked in the description. Full disclosure with this, everybody, I am not affiliated with Movably in any way, shape, or form. I am just driving traffic to an awesome concept of a chair that they were nice enough to offer to me for borrow. I had to send this pre-production model chair back to them. I didn't keep anything out of this. I just thought this was a really cool chair and I wanted to test it out. If you're interested in anything, their links are in the description. Not affiliated once again, but you will find affiliate links in the description. So shopping through those help support content creation here on this channel. If you do any shopping through those links, it costs you nothing in addition to your purchase, but it helps support my endeavor here. Well, that about does it for me in this one. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I'm Tomas, and I'll catch you in the next one.